Hi, Brenton here. Welcome to Feedback Friday number 17. This week we're looking at a triathlete, and I want to point out two things here. So in our Feedback Fridays, sometimes we do a full analysis, sometimes we pick out one or two key points. Today I want to pick out two things that's most likely causing quite a bit of side-to-side movement, a bit like snaking or zigzagging through the hips and through the body. Now, with freestyle, we generally want to keep quite stable through the core and through the hips. We don't want too much side-to-side movement. Obviously, we don't want to be over tense and rigid through the body, but if we can keep a little bit more stabilization through there, it's going to be a lot more efficient. You can see here, if we just pause it there, all right, see how the hips have rotated a long way to the side, the legs have splayed a bit. All right, that's really just coming from, looking up to high to breathe and that hand coming out wide. But two things that look like might be partly causing that, to me, is number one, the hand position. So I'll show you here, see if you can see it. Now, you can see how the fingertips are, or the fingers are keeping very close. There's no gap between them. The hands look quite rigid and tense. Now, I see this is quite a common mistake, is swimmers are sometimes told, keep your fingers together. Now, while you don't want to be like that, you don't want them really far apart. If they're too tense and too close together, it's wasted effort and energy. And it can sometimes cause you to almost try to force it too much. And that can cause you to have this little bit of a zigzag because you're really trying to rip at the water. But if you look at any elite swimmers, and I'll pull up a video in a moment, that most elite swimmers, they've got soft hands. The hands are relaxed. Now, you only need enough tension through them to keep the shape. You don't want them loose, don't want them like spaghetti. But then after that, keep them soft, keep them relaxed. That's how you're going to hold a lot more water and stay relaxed and in control of your stroke. So that's the first thing that I'd recommend, keep soft hands. Number two, it looks like you may be overreaching a little bit here. So you can see that position there. Notice how that shoulder is being thrown a long way forwards and that hand is starting to drift out a bit. Same on the other side, just kind of drifts out a bit. It looks like you may be just overreaching somewhat. So trying to go for too much length and reach. Now, again, in swimming, we want to be long, but if we go too far, we lose that control and that stable body position. So what I normally recommend to swimmers in our membership, swimmers who come to our clinics who are doing something like that, is bring it back 5%, 10%. All right, swim within your capable reach and your control. So if I go as far as I possibly can, yes, I might get a few more centimeters, which can kind of be more efficient because I'm that little bit longer. But if I lose the ability to have power and control in my stroke, then I'm slowing myself down. So for this swimmer, I'd recommend bring it back 5 or 10%, swim within your range and your control. All right, so let's have a look at an example of that. So if we look at this swimmer here, you can notice there that yes, he's reaching out in front. So he's out in front there, but he's more in control. He's not going so far that the shoulder's coming forwards and he's over-rotating there. He's swimming within his normal reach and range. And the other thing you'll notice there, and I might just pull up another view here, is you'll see that with his fingers, see how there's a bit of gap between them, all right? They're not tense. He's keeping soft hands as he goes through there. Again, you can see a good position there. All right, so don't try and force it too much. Don't keep the hands too tense. All right, so swim within your capable reach, keep soft hands. All right, so they're the two things that I'd probably look to work on based on what we saw in this video. All right, so if you are working towards an event yourself and you need some coaching, you feel like your swimming speeds have stagnated a bit, check out our membership. That's where you can send in your own videos and I can do a full analysis and then give you some structure around how to go about making those changes. I also do some online trainings and presentations inside the membership. So one we did recently was the ultimate guide to developing a perfect catch and pull. And your catch, all right, for those that don't know what your catch is from here, all right? So if you coach, if a friend talks about the catch, all it is from this position down to there, all right? That's the catch. So don't get confused. That's all the catch is. Then the pull is essentially from here through to there. So that's what the pull is. Now, in this presentation I did inside the Effortless Swimming membership, I talked about how to really develop a strong and solid catch and pull, even if you don't come from much of a swimming background. And what you'll notice here is the best swimmers in the world, they're able to get their fingertips pointing down, while this part of their arm somewhat stays in the same position. All right, so there's not a lot of movement through there until he gets those fingertips almost underneath his elbow. Now, if you are brand new, if you're a triathlete, an adult, you may not have the reach and the range to be able to do that quite like this. But if we can improve that over the coming weeks and months to make sure that you're not dropping the elbow or pulling through with an arm that's too straight, that's where you're going to get a lot more propulsion. All right. So in this presentation, this training that I did, I added 7 or 8 different drills that I like to use to help develop that. Because if you just think about making that change, you know, it's very hard to just think about it and then make the change, right? Often we like to use drills as that kind of intermediate step to help you develop and change those things. All right. So that's why, you know, when we do these Feedback Friday videos, is sometimes I find that people can either take things too literally. All right, so we might say keep the hands soft, but some swimmers might just go too soft with them. All right, so sometimes things like that can be taken too literally. That's why I recommend for people to have someone, or find a coach, have someone give them some specific and direct feedback to your stroke, because until you actually see yourself swimming and you get someone to look at it, it can be really hard to know exactly what you need to do. Because, you know, when I run clinics, I work with hundreds of people every year, if not doing more than 1,000+ analysis videos with people each year. You know, the most common feedback that I get is that's not how I thought I looked when I swam. And that's neither good nor bad, that's just how it is. But when you actually see yourself, you can start to make those changes because you get that visual feedback, as opposed to a coach just telling you you're doing something without actually seeing it. So if that's something that sounds like might be useful for you, check out our membership, which will be in the link below. All right, this is Feedback Friday number 17. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week with another video.